Greetings, dynamic viewers. Today's Models of Success profiles Sir Isaac Newton, an absolutely brilliant Englishman who is considered one of the greatest scientific minds ever. He lived during what is called the Age of Enlightenment in Europe. Sir Isaac Newton, among other scientific achievements, is famous for his formulation of Newton's laws of motion and the law of universal gravitation. His scientific theories and discoveries, without a doubt, have deeply influenced the modern scientific field. Sir Isaac Newton was born in 1642 in a manor house in Woolsthorpe by Closterworth in Lincolnshire County, England. He attended local schools in his younger years, but by age 12 was sent to King's College in Grantham for study. He remained there until age 17, when his mother insisted that he should be a farmer. However, it turned out that young Newton was not suited for this occupation, and he eventually attended Cambridge University at age 19. Cambridge is where the future world-renowned scholar began to explore his love for science, mathematics and philosophy. Throughout his life, Newton worked in the field of mathematics, optics and physics. His published work, Philosophiae Naturalis Principia Mathematica, has been called one of the greatest scientific manuscripts of all time. The work is divided into 3 books and deals with the laws of the physical universe. Newton also published Optics, a treatise on the nature of light, particularly its reflection and refraction. Newton was a member of the prestigious Royal Society of London for the Improvement of Natural Knowledge, or the Royal Society for short. In 1703, he became the Royal Society's president. Still in existence today, this scientific organisation is believed by many to be one of the oldest scientific societies in the world. It is also the leading independent scientific body in the United Kingdom. Perhaps you may be surprised to know that Sir Isaac Newton was a member of the English Parliament from 1689 to 1690 and again in 1701. Another less well-known fact is that he served as the Master of the Mint for almost 30 years, which was the highest level position at England's Royal Mint. During his tenure, Sir Isaac Newton changed the nation's currency from the silver to the gold standard, meaning all currency was backed by gold. In addition, he was committed to ending the counterfeiting of coinage. Sir Isaac Newton was a modest person who was generous to his friends. He remained single throughout his life and lived simply. Although he was enthusiastic about the possibilities of science in explaining our universe, he believed there is an ultimate creator behind all things. He once stated, "Gravity explains the motion of the planets, but it cannot explain who set the planets in motion. God governs all things and knows all that is or can be done." We will return soon with more on Sir Isaac Newton. You're watching Models of Success on Supreme Master Television.
Welcome back to Models of Success on Supreme Master Television.
Today's Models of Success features Sir Isaac Newton, one of the greatest scientists of all time. One of Newton's earliest discoveries was the use of prisms to show that sunlight, rather than being just white light, is actually a combination of the 7 colours of the rainbow. The various colours are caused by each colour's different wavelength and its individual ability to be bent or refracted by something like a prism. With this new knowledge of light, Newton also constructed a reflecting telescope with a curved mirror instead of lens. Telescopes of his era used lenses instead of mirrors. Due to the property of refraction, lenses separated starlight into unwanted colours and did not give a clear picture of the stars. By using mirrors, Newton was able to bring the observation of a star sharply into focus. Some telescopes in use today are based on Newton's design. Newton is most famous for his formulation of the laws of motion and universal gravitation. In 1687 he published his famous book Philosophiae Naturalis Principia Mathematica, while teaching as a mathematics professor at Trinity College, Cambridge. In his book he explained 3 basic laws, which are now known as Newton's laws, that govern the way objects move. The first law, or the law of inertia, states that if an object is not exerted upon by some force, it will stay still, or if in motion, it will keep moving in a straight line at the same speed in the absence of any other force acting upon it. Just think of a football. If no one ever kicks it, it will not move. And once it moves, it will not change direction or have its speed vary unless another force acts on it. The second law, or the law of resultant force, is about the amount of force applied to an object and its resulting momentum. From everyday experience, we know that for a person to move a football forward 10 metres requires much less force than for him or her to push a heavy car forward 10 metres. The third law is that for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. Put in simpler terms, when you push an object, it pushes back. Thus, when a rocket takes off into space, its engines push against the ground. The reaction is that the ground pushes the rocket upwards with equal force. The law of gravity and the name of Sir Isaac Newton will always be forever intertwined. You likely have heard of the story of Newton seeing an apple fall to the ground from a tree. This event inspired Newton to think of the force of attraction between one object and another. He calculated that the object with the greatest mass would exert greater force and attract the other object towards it. Thus, the apple with the smaller mass would be drawn to the larger mass of Earth and eventually fall down. On March 31st, 1727, at the ripe age of 85, Sir Isaac Newton passed on. He was laid to rest in Westminster Abbey in England and was the first scientist ever to receive this honour. Till this day, the world remembers the name Sir Isaac Newton with fond reverence. Let us conclude today's programme with some quotes by the great scientist. Sir Isaac Newton was known to have said, "If I have ever made any valuable discoveries, it has been due more to patient attention than to any other talent. If I have seen farther than others, it is because I was standing on the shoulders of giants. Yet one thing secures us whatever betide. The Scriptures assures us the Lord will provide." Thank you for joining us with this edition of Models of Success. Please stay tuned to Vegetarianism, the Noble Way of Living, right after Noteworthy News on Supreme Master Television.